It's not easy to do a commentary video. What's up, my fellow creatures? Your suicidal dumbass here to talk about commentary struggles. I felt like this is a bit early to talk about my struggles since I'm still new to this whole thing, but I got nothing else to do, so here we go. The very first struggle that I have experienced is to come up with anything to talk about, what catches people's attention. I'm starting out freshly here, and talking isn't my strongest thing. As you guys know, I'm not much of a talker, so talking over my work is very difficult for me, along with coming up with anything to talk about, and I don't know if what I'm talking about interests anybody out there that listens. When I do come and talk about a YouTuber and try to get people to understand a point of view of what's actually good or bad or what is actually going on, I do have a struggle of confronting fears. I would be afraid to see what they think, if they even care about it. I'll be really scared. What if I've gotten it wrong? What if I missed an evidence and I never really talked about it? What if people rejected me just because I don't agree with the same thing they do? Which I have a lot of fears that goes through my head, and it really terrifies me. Another thing about the struggling in the community is that I forget. I struggle with ADD, which you can look it up what it is, but basically my brain doesn't process anything very well. I can easily get distracted for some odd reason, but I forget a lot. There's a lot of, I will say something and then 2 seconds later I'll completely forget because my brain did not process of what I said beforehand, and it really is hard, especially as a person trying to be in a community of being a commentary terrier, whatever you want to call it, and then you just forget what you were talking about, what you said beforehand. As if you guys don't know, I have done a video called Art Drama, and that is a great example of what is going on in my head. Basically, I didn't know what I said beforehand, and I kept repeating the same thing over and over and over, which I don't mean to do. I have no control over it, but I do try my best to at least overview things I said and try to catch things that I have repeated. In that video, I have said such a shame like 20,000 times. I could fall asleep to how many times I've said that, and while recording that, I did not realize that I even said those things, or the fact that I said it more than once. I just have really problem remembering a lot. My brain just doesn't function the same way as people do. That's one of my struggles. I don't know about everyone else, but that's one of my struggles as trying to do a commentary. Gets lost off subject, not knowing of what I said. The third thing about commentarying is that when, say, you're gonna do a commentary of talking about another YouTuber, like I did with Kairama, there was a lot of people not seeing in their point of view. They're mostly going at their own point of view and how they're seeing certain things, but they're not bringing out of how are they seeing it. That's why I did that's why I did a video on Kairama, because I've noticed a lot of people doesn't really go in depth into seeing in their point of view. What if you were sitting or standing in their position? Would you act the same way? No. A lot of people would say, oh, I would, but once you get into that moment, all of a sudden that changes. It's like a fight or flight type of situation. When a monster comes after you, of course people are gonna say, oh, I'm gonna punch them for defense, while someone tries to do that to the person, actually doing it, they ended up either freezing up or running away. They didn't bother to take a punch or a slap or anything for defense. That's the same thing in this scenario. That's why I try to go over in their eyes, see what they're seeing. Don't really just go off on your own opinion or others' opinion, because at the end of the day, opinions aren't facts. They're just how the person feels. And a lot of people will take that as facts, when in reality it really isn't. Just because you feel like one thing doesn't mean it's actually that one thing. It's just like the whole debate that was going around years ago about if Pluto a planet. I grew up as a child with the knowledge of Pluto is a planet. But then later on, as I grew up, now scientists are saying that it's not a planet, and it's really hard. I understand it's really hard to try to get into or establishing that is not a planet, but you still feel like it's a planet, and everyone fights, oh, it is a planet, but it is a planet. But at the end of the day of the whole argument, it doesn't matter how you feel. The fact still lies down that, hey, all the evidence and analysis are here saying that it's not a planet, so what you think, it doesn't matter, it's what it is. You can't say to a feline saying it's a canine. No, that's not how it works. Just because you feel like it's one thing doesn't mean it's that one thing. You have to read their language. Everyone phrases it differently, and I feel like a lot of people don't have this ability or just doesn't see it. But just like how there's a body language, there's a language in how we use words and phrases, which can be one of the struggles that talking about another YouTuber can become. You may bring out a false fact that ends up having to be the opposite because you understood it wrong or they understood it wrong. It's like broken telephone. Don't go by what other people are saying unless it provides evidence or a photo showing what you say could be true, or basically just around that. Just don't go by, oh, I assumed so and so. Assuming is not a word you should use. Assuming is not something you should take as a fact. It really isn't. Same goes with opinions. And I just repeated myself. But you get what I'm saying. Please just read into it before you start assuming yourself and then getting yourself into trouble that you really don't want to be in. I think that's all I have so far. That's what it looks like here. That's really all I have to say. It's not much. Like I said, I feel like it's a bit too early to get into my struggles since I'm just starting out. I'm new to this myself. It's not like I've been doing this for years. Before I end this video, I wanted to bring up something that I've talked about in Twitter, but I didn't bring it out on my YouTube. I have planned to do, way before I was going to do Kairama's video, I had planned something before her. I was planning to do Lupus Volps, and I am not joking. I even tried messaging Lupus on YouTube and trying to find contact to her because I want to hear it from her and see what she's talking about, or if she's understanding of what's going on. I kind of want to interview her, but as I was trying to get into contact with her, there's gone a big mess. A lot of people was responding to my message, to my comment that I did that was supposed to be to Lupus Volps, saying how, oh no, there's a supporter of her, of a transphobe, oh, you should die, oh my gosh, you're a despair, calling me a lot of shit that they are themselves. And to be honest, I feel like that's not fair since I haven't done anything wrong but asked a simple question. But I can see why a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are angry at her over something that she's done. I tried reading into it and trying to piece everything together, and then I found something interesting that I wish I could bring out. But after receiving a lot of hate comments from people when I really did nothing wrong to them, it kind of shut me down. They were telling me how it was despair, that I should shut my mouth, and they're supposed to be people that is in my community, and they're targeting me because of my opinion or comment or whatever I said. I wish I could remember word by word of what I commented. So I was going through the YouTube and trying to find the comment that I have said through to Lupus Wolps. And here's a comment that I have messaged where everyone else had applied to, which is, "Don't cry, it's okay. God knows you didn't do anything wrong. With your permission, I would like to do a commentary to fix this situation. Only if it's okay with you. I'm in the LGBT community and I'm a Christian myself, and the fact is community is being selfish and shameful. I'm sorry you're going through this. Be strong and remember God is always with you no matter what." When I did this message, this was when I found some of the evidence being very flawed and very fake. And on top of it all, what people were getting upset with, I didn't understand why, because it really made no sense of getting mad over it. This was way before I found that something interesting that I talked about early on, and also this was before someone has finally nicely commented towards me about the situation as nice as they could, and I am very grateful for that one person. As for everyone else in the response video, you can go fuck yourself. Towards Lupus Volps, but either way, they were still in the wrong for their actions because they had no part in it. There was no need for them to come at me when their nose was in my business. I never asked them to be there. No one invited them there. They invited themselves. And to people out there that come across my comment, me, that's being rude to you, it's most likely because you started to be rude to me first. This YouTuber here has been lashing out at me, even when I told them nicely and politely as I could about why they thought that, and they decided to just cut my whole question off and start saying stuff. I know I could be a bitch or act like an ass, talk like a dickhead about myself, but no one I will ever say that unless you do it to me first. So if you had a hate comment towards me or a rude, threatening comment towards me, I will do the same back. And you have no one but yourself to blame, because anything you do wrong comes with consequences and punishments. Learn them and then shut the fuck up. I decided towards the end of the day that I was gonna hide Lupus Volps' analysis away. I'm gonna keep it here with me at all times, just in case if there's any updates or more info into the matter. But I will not publish it until or unless everyone feels comfortable about it, because I can see a lot of people's hate. I can see a lot of people's anger towards the situation, and I did not realize that up until after I tried to message her. If you guys ever do want me to bring out my analysis to tell you what I have found, I would love for anybody here to let me know in the comments. And if there's a certain number of people that agree, then I will post it. But until then, it's gonna be here, locked in a vault. On top of on top of it all, I would really want to know where Lupus Phelps is now. Where can I contact her? Where can it be possible to message her without having to go through all these social medias? I really want to get her intake, because the documents, the videos, everything else was going against her and not trying to see from eye to eye. I know a lot of people are gonna lash out at me at this, but like I said, I'm asking nicely. I'm being calm. If I respond rudely, you got nothing but yourself to blame. It's just a warning, not a dare, not a threat. I am a human being just like everyone else, and I have feelings too. I may struggle on expressing it, but it doesn't change the fact that I feel it. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening to me talk. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to comment down below or message me on Twitter. Please follow me on DeviantArt, where I'll be posting artwork, and Twitter, where I'll be posting updates on what I'm going to be doing next, or just random stuff that's going through my head. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos and click the notification bell so you can be notified when the next video will be up. I want to thank you guys for understanding and listening, and I'll see you guys next time. This was Angel Hazel, and I say goodbye.